Hello and welcome. As you can see, we've got the fire kicking once again today. A little chilly and damp outdoors here where I'm at today. Come on in, take a seat by the fire. This is the Daily Dharma and my name is Dina. Seeing sacral chakra and Merkaba on the bottom of the deck. Realizing that I did not level my table before starting, and rather than shaking the camera the whole time, just take a pause for the cause. Wedge a little piece of mulch under here. Bear with me. All right. So maybe you're fixing some foundational area of your life. Everything that happens seems to be symbolic. Sacral chakra belief. So maybe you've got a faulty foundational belief that has interfered with your prosperity and your beliefs of abundance or scarcity. So poverty consciousness, scarcity consciousness often is something very foundational where our upbringing led us to believe that not only are there not enough resources to feel comfortable, mostly from our parents instructing us, well, we don't have enough money for that. Well, let's go and we're going to do this other thing at home because we don't have money for movies or this outing or this sport or that thing. So I guess that one thing that's coming up is there's a difference in being frugal and thrifty and making the most of your money efficiently, and the burden and stress that begins in childhood when the parents are afraid and in fear of poverty consciousness. And so what I want to say, we can make it fun and say like, oh, well, we're camping in the backyard, if that's a thing you can do, instead of going to the campground and making it an enormous event for your family. It could be a thing, right? And a lot can be done with very little, but I think a lot of us were raised with parents who couldn't see through that and were too stressed out to be able to enjoy anything. And so that's when the consciousness of lack is associated with stress, and where the subconscious continues to recreate that in our life on all these different levels. And somebody doesn't have to be poor to feel that they have to compete and grind and force and effort to gain resources. And you don't need to be in a poverty mindset if you were raised without resources, because being resourceful is different at 333. So empowering prosperity to work for us is all a mindset. It's a belief pattern. And we can't just bust out of these overnight, but I think that we all are encountering different areas of life where we're breaking through these old mindsets. Divine masculine, we're approaching things differently, not only with aggressive, competitive, hierarchical thinking, but with strategy and working smarter, not harder. Synergy, yeah, we're working with the flow of things and working with what we have and who we have at our disposal. So we waste a lot of energy when we can't flow and when we can't see the potentials. And this is reminding me of one of the Kali cards. I cannot remember the names because so many of them are not my language, so to speak. But there's one where she is the patron of the forgotten, the thrown away, and the disrespected, discarded, the garbage. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that we're into garbage, but I mean, I'll tell you, I have gotten so many things through thrifting, and it's not some passing phase for me. My mother enjoyed that, but maybe not when I was little, but that's something that she started doing, and she liked many things I didn't like. My siblings didn't necessarily get into it, but I have gotten, I mean, just looking around here, so much that my resources are busting at the seams. And now I'm finding that I need to also open up my other hand and release some of the abundance that I'm hoarding on some level, because I'm not using and utilizing things maybe the way that I thought. I mean, that's not to say that you shouldn't save something. If you're building an empire and you're doing this resource by resource, storage and hoarding, you need to just kind of walk that line by yourself. But I think you know what I'm getting at. We're working with our resources in a different way, and we're being told to look around ourselves and truly take in the resources, both tangible and intangible, what we're bringing to the table. So 28, Gaia, comes out next. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we're infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. So divine masculine synergy with Gaia is working with the flow of environmental factors, the astrological cosmic influences, the influences of others and groups and environments, being able to come back into our own and utilize those input stimulating circumstances to ebb, shift, and flow our internal landscape and our personal environments that we have more control over. So yeah, working with the flow of nature. There's this other phrase popping in, something about when fishermen can't go to sea because of the storms, they mend their nets. And so if there's a limiting circumstance, there's always something else that we can do. And then in the I Ching book, the one, it's a RL, oh no, it is not. Check the description box. I'll pop it in there. The I Ching book I have talks about how there's when water is flowing downhill in the path of least resistance, occasionally it'll meet up with some type of obstacle, such as a fallen log that crosses the ravine or a buildup of rock and debris. And the water can't just move this thing the first flow that touches it. You know, like when water is, when ice is thawing from the top of the mountain, it can create these huge rushes down the mountainside, and things get moved around and pushed into a heap. And then what happens is, however fast or slow in our own lives, when we're rushing forward, we're hoping for that momentum, it's there, we're building, all of a sudden some type of obstacle comes up. And this isn't to say that that isn't the direction that we're going to go, but we need to pause and to build up literal mass and force behind, because as more and more and more input reaches the obstacle, eventually the water level swells and increases until it can spill beyond the barrier. And that's the way that life happens with us, is that growth happens that way. Seeds happen that way. It's the critical mass. It's the quickening process of the correct combination, the activating circumstance to catalyze the growth and that quantum leap from seed to start into germination. It's vibration, it's moisture, it's heat. so many things. Quality of seed. All right, so it looks like we may be talking more about romantic love, but sometimes for those of you that isn't your bag, we can look at romantic love in the way that, are we in love with our life and with our circumstances? Are we counting our blessings, or are we counting our obstacles as evidence to take it easy, or to give up, or to walk away from something? Heart chakra, number 4. So 4. We've got 22, 41, 28, 39, and 4. Let's do another one here. Perception, 35. So there's something coming to our awareness about the way that we work with the flow of life and love, and the way that we are able to infuse more love into our situations, more love into our own person, actually, even, because I'm getting something where we've already talked about environment and so many things, but there's this there's something coming through about a limitation here, possibly in a one-on-one situation, even if this isn't a romance for each individual. There's a lot of you out there, this is a general reading. But let's just pull on this, whether this is a job or a career type of thing in one person's life, or a family dynamic, best friends. Romantic love for me doesn't need to be intimate in the same type of a way. It can also be platonic or familial love. But generally, the unconditional universal love card would come out for that. So here we have that's 60, the kiss, and it shows a masculine and feminine hand clasping here. It's like taking someone's hand under the moonlight type of a vibe. And since we have that romantic card here, let's just see what we've got coming out. Well, actually, I thought there were a few. Okay, I'll take those. Okay. Splitting the deck, a few left on the board. The one that popped out is 8, the maiden. We've had this recently. To me, this is, since we've talked about abundance and poverty here with prosperity, it's like we're perceiving either options, or there's some type of comparison at play here as far as how our energies are connecting or not vibing in different situations. So I said something about the mountain, did I not? We have master number 33, the mountain, showing up here. And look closely at that yellow, there's a figure there. And it seems that we, in this circumstance, have our own special place where we can retreat and have our own solitude to perceive what's going on. And so 40, 46 is a 10, the womb. I'm seeing that the mountain, whether it's your meditation practice or a little literal retreat or time in nature or some type of practice, I'm sensing that there's a need to, or well, that practice in itself is a way to rebirth our energies and align with Mother Earth and the mother, the great mother that births us all, our food, our environment, and our people, and our four-legged, two-legged, and otherwise winged friends and scaly friends. There's some type of circle of life here that's speaking through this process, the flow, and the way that we are being able to bring our fresh eyes and fresh heart into our romantic life, I feel. I'm going to stay with that romantic situation here because we have some confirmations. And I don't know if some of you are looking to have a child or grandchild or bringing a pet or nurturing plants. I mean, this is definitely a seed that's trying to germinate here, whether it's people or breeding livestock even, I mean, or seeds. This is the process of incubation, and I believe in our own lives it's showing us our own mindset to ourselves, and we're able to apply something new, some new evolving knowledge to purify our ability to be lovers and to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, I want to say. What's under prosperity? Earth and empowerment. Yeah, so a strong connection with the earth helps us to understand the flow of our own prosperity. So, well, I kind of feel that these are, since I tend to really love oracle cards, the messages are always general and loving, but I'm sensing that over the last few weeks, there's been some things coming up that others could use a little bit more direction on. Ace of Swords, there's some kind of truth or clarity being sought out here. Can we work together? Can we work it out? Are all individuals in this with integrity, truth, honesty, the urge for mutual reciprocal benefit and prosperity? And with the upright sword, if it's not going to go unnoticed. The upright sword is one of divine clarity and support in finding our truth and our justice in the situation. There's a lot of protection with that sword coming out with the maiden over here in the mountain there. It's like we've been through a lot. And we may still feel in it because the individual is in the mountain. Six of Wands is a card of success quite often, and sometimes ambition and victory that comes with some level of ego or with some great sacrifice with the mountain coming up and the maiden. It's like our something about the childhood adversity has created some extensive influences and truths that are influencing the romance and romantic incubation, the ability for the relationship that you're thinking of or the situation to thrive. But with the Ace of Truth, the Six of Wands, we're being told it is the truth. You're on the right path. Things are in the process of shifting and changing. I love it. 19, the Sun. So this also talks about children. If your question is about children, there's a happy gathering, a happiness, an innocence, a radiance. And the ego in this card is natural ego. It's the childlike ego that comes completely vulnerable and unaware of insecurities. And it's the precursor to whatever may have had us feeling this fear of poverty, the fear that we're in competition with another or being compared. It's like once we are able to self-nurture and to feel the natural flow instead of the fearful flow, we can recognize the abundance, we can recognize the resources and the blessings that are so incredibly vital to this breakthrough point here. Three of Cups, it's time to celebrate something. I know that some people take that as a third-party card, but I would say that unless there's confirmation here, and unless it's in the reversed or the sideways position, there's no challenges. Well, no challenges. We've got the mountain. It's not challenged by negative confirmation here. So the Three of Cups is a return to innocence, a return to friendships and to gatherings. Maybe it's been a while since you've gotten together with your best mates and it's time to reconnect. Maybe the romantic scenario has maybe it's a new romantic relationship or an intense connection, or that time is of the essence, or that there's not enough time in your mind to really have enough time with the lover and the friends. But there's a balance being called in. It's the same type of thing with work and play. We need to give all our life, the dimensions of our life, all some balancing attention. All right, the Fool calls for a new beginning in love, new actions and new approaches to love. It's being unafraid to step off the deep end and to jump in with both feet, even though your friend or family or someone may be nipping at your heels with some type of, well, don't you remember you've been hurt before, which is evidence to never try it again, never take a risk. Don't you like your comfort zone? No, the Fool packs light. So if it's time to purge some things, simplify something else, detox your own person, the Fool here is about taking a risk and taking steps and a risk to be the one that takes the action with the divine masculine here, or that we're encouraging of. I heard something the other day. I didn't like most of the broadcast, but one of the things was talking about how men are generally the ones, broadly speaking, of course, that do the approaching and the wooing process, but the woman is the chooser. But also, as the woman is also the initiator, even though the man is the one, again, broadly speaking, that does the thing, the woman, if you look at the dynamic, has somehow to show an interest. She has to orbit the object of her inquiry or interest. She has to cast a glance and actually have the courage to confirm the interaction with eye contact or a smile, right? I don't mean, believe me, I'm triggered too. But so if you want something, it's up to you to crack the door open. Whether you're masculine or feminine, when you are wanting to magnetize something, the object of your inquiry may need to have something to ping them. Like if you're looking for that raise or promotion and your boss thinks, wow, they're really amazing at this low level thing. They really are taking ownership of these people. So that takes a lot off this middle manager. I'm going to leave them where they're at. Is that what you want, to lay in that low spot because you're good at it? So, all right, we're almost out of time here. So the idea then is to say, I really have enjoyed this opportunity to synergize with all the individuals in this group. But I wouldn't mind trying that out on a larger scale if ever an opportunity were to present, then you're putting your hat in the ring to be chosen. You're leaving the door open. We'll leave it there. Let's do one more. Ten of Swords. So you're in your head about it, but the Ten of Swords is, I want to compare it to the Fool, where it's that innocent ignorance that comes over the mountain, for instance. It comes because of the accumulated experience of burden or the evidence of loss or pain or suffering. That, yes, risk very much comes loaded with this stuff. And you may be overwhelmed with all of see, these swords are down. They're pointed downward, where the Ace of Swords is upright. So the 10 becomes the Ace. The 10 only needs one little more straw to flip the critical mass. It's where the water is taking gathering enough strength and force to overcome the obstacle. The 10 of Swords is 10, 1 plus 0 becomes the Ace. 10 is the accumulated experience that creates the quantum leap in understanding, not just knowledge, but wisdom. It's the application of strategy, self-belief, and deep connection with your own wants, needs, and the ability to flow in the moment, to see the opportunity and to capitalize on the opportunity when it presents. And it may or may not present again and again, depending on how aligned we are with the outcome. But some opportunities are more fortuitous than others. If the boss is just getting off a call with somebody who irritated them, that is not the time. But if you just got a big account in some sales division and you've got your boss running around like he just got lucky, literally. Got lucky. I got the clover on today. Then the boss is receptive, right? So whatever authority you feel that you need to approach, even if it's somebody who you're in this one-on-one relationship with, we catch more magnetism in return when that person isn't mired in the 10 of Swords. I think that these are obvious, but there's something working its way to the top here. Let's see what other card. 10 of Wands. That is the Mountain. So it's going to take some type of overcoming process within either your mind, your heart's on the board, remember, some type of perception shifting between we're not here to compete with others. That's scarcity, that there's not enough resources. Maybe you're creating something for yourself, a niche for yourself in some type of a way, to create greater happiness through the ability to celebrate what is, to be able to utilize the resources at your disposal, and to say, are you throwing that out? What if we repurposed this for that? Or, maybe you need to spice up your romance, and thrift shop is a great place to find some interesting things that can be put together for some type of wardrobe spice. Underneath we have the Death card. So something is being laid to rest, but there's a new life in the foreground. See the dead tree in the background and the rebirth of the new tree. This individual is now saying, yes, this didn't work, but how about this? Look at the way that this is thriving. Look at the way that every small step in the past has accumulated to this outcome. Look at this person I spoke with yesterday who was talking about, oh, I'd love this and this. It looks like you've got some of these things that I really want to get towards. And I also saw the young lady in my workout class. I did this pose that was challenging to stretch, and I saw her out of the corner of my eye go, and she tries it, and I was just tickled. It's we're being watched with loving eyes. We have more options than we realize is on the deck. Things are about to get really juicy. But yeah, don't overlook the small steps that have gotten you where you are today, because you weren't there yesterday. A little heads up on an addiction that afflicts all really old souls. Giving love eventually becomes an even greater need than receiving love. See, you're not strange. Love the universe. So it's time for you to take action there and make things more juicy. Create space for new love, even if it's a stable partnership. When a thing hurts your eyes, stop looking at it. When it hurts your ears, stop listening to it, especially if it's that wounded inner voice. And when it hurts your heart, stop justifying it. I love you so much, the universe. Yeah, sit with Mother. Think of someone very, very special to you. Now feel yourself bursting with love for them. Now mentally shower, drench, and soak, I interject, the self in that love, and then soak them in that love. To send them that love is great. Now soak yourself in my love and maybe sit in the sun in nature. You might not know it now, but you will. There's an epiphany coming, this spontaneous occurrence of eureka, that's the perfect idea. When you begin to find love in people and places where you haven't found it before, it's always because you've grown. You so rock the universe. All there is to love has been there all along. So appreciate the people that are hard to appreciate. And if maybe you could even bring in donuts to work, or something fancy and vegan or whatever. Buy everybody a coffee, I don't know. Enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Maybe you're going to bring in some clothes as you're cleaning out your closet. Bring them in for your coworkers, or hand-me-downs from your children to somebody who has younger children. Do you know what you've created now besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you? Inspiration in the eyes of those that have watched you, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. Not bad, kiddo, not bad at all. There isn't a soul on the planet who doesn't crave your approval. Love you guys are about to get cut off. The only difference between a friend and a foe is that you've decided where love can grow. The universe. Take care of yourselves. We're leaving it there. Check back for more messages later, if you will. Thanks.